The dark days descended upon you. You rose from an unforgivable betrayal. Now, let vengeance drive you forward. Build your reputation. Strengthen your forces. Earn the loyalty of your crew, and lay waste to those who have deceived you. Live, die, and prosper by the Iron Oath. Available now.
Welcome in, strategy fans, to another talk. This time about Iron Oath. We have on board with us Nick. Sadly, Chris could not make it, so it's just the two of us. Nick, tell me about you and tell me about what is Iron Oath.
Yeah, firstly, just thanks a lot for having us on. Really appreciate it. And my name is Nick Bueller. I'm an artist on the Iron Oath, which is a turn-based tactical RPG where you take control of a mercenary company exploring a dynamic overworld, and you go around completing jobs for various factions that are all vying for power. So you're trying to grow your company and survive, essentially.
So basically, you are literally having an oath to your iron, as in being a mercenary group, working on that. So,
Yeah, for sure.
in terms of since it's a turn-based combat and turn-based tactics, how difficult was it for you? Because you have a lot of classes. There's all kinds of mechanics playing along. There's all kinds of features and abilities. How hard was it to balance this whole, let's call it a mess, this whole mess of all kinds of features coming together?
I mean, pretty difficult. I mean, it's still an ongoing process. Like, the balance isn't quite where we want it yet. There's actually, like, our next major update is specifically focused on balance and replayability in terms of combat. So it's an ongoing thing. But like, yeah, basically many months of work going into designing the classes and the enemies, and yeah, still more months work ahead of us in that department.
Yeah. Since when is the game in production?
It started development in 2016, so it's been quite a while.
That is true. So
yeah, just the two of us. So it's been a journey.
It's just a two-man show?
Yep, two of us full time, and then a couple of contractors along the way. But right now, it's, now that we're in early access, just the two of us again.
Wow. Is there a demo right now during the Tacticon that people can check out?
There isn't. No, I would have liked to have one, but like our previous demo was very outdated. It was like prior to early access, so putting together a new demo takes a little bit of time. But so
fair enough.
We weren't able to get it set up, but yeah, hopefully in a few months we'll be able to have another one.
But nonetheless, you can go check it out already, wishlisted. There's the link down below. And also, if you want to, support them and grab it on early access and play it already. So, with no further ado, how can we make Chad understand how the game exactly works? You have this mercenary group, right, that you have to manage and control. Are the games procedurally generated? Do we have a big RNGesus who's creating everything that's happening in front of us? Or is it more of a narrative path where you have A or B decisions and have like a little bit of a branch off?
Yeah, it's kind of a mixture of both. I wouldn't necessarily say it's procedurally generated, but like we have the main story, which is pretty linear. There's a bit of branches and choices to make along the way, but the main story itself is fairly linear. And then aside from that, we have like a whole series of dynamic quests that show up depending on what state the world is in, or like what state cities are in. So if a city is at war, you'll get quests to help out with the war. If a city is having a famine, you'll get quests related to the famine and whatnot. So it kind of changes depending on the world state. So it's not like procedurally generated, like the quests are all pre-made and everything. It's just picking and choosing things. It's kind of like like Skyrim, how the Radiant quest system works, if you're familiar with that, where it just
Yeah.
keeps popping out quests over and over with like random locations, random enemies to fill out and stuff like that.
I hear. What happens if you not succeed? Like if a city's in famine and you not succeed with helping them out on gathering food or grabbing food?
I believe right now it like kind of lowers their strength score. So
Okay.
if a war does come up, they'll be in a weaker state, and also the famine event specifically can have like offshoots of like bandit events to come up in so kind of like builds off of what event is currently happening. So if there's like lots of trade going on, that'll also invite bandits to come into the area, and you'll get a bandit activity event. So
Oh.
kind of has a bit of I guess life in that sense, where events build off of each other.
Since you mentioned war and strength points in terms of the cities and whatnot, are there different factions? Is there like an overall competements going on of territory between, I don't know, clan A, clan B?
Yeah, there's 4 kingdoms right now, and then each kingdom has a head house that's in charge of the whole kingdom. So they'll go to war with each other over the territory and whatnot. And there's also
As always, yeah.
there's also possibilities for rebellions within the kingdoms to crop up. So a smaller house could take over one of the cities and then try and overthrow the leader of that kingdom and take over if they want to.
I'm surprisingly shocked by the complexity behind it. Love it. Can you, on purpose, kind of not manage quests like as we had the famine part to help another house take over this region? Or are you as a player even able to choose which faction you want to join or which house you want to help?
Yeah, it's dependent on like your reputation score with the faction. So if you have a friendly reputation with them and you go to the city while they're at war, you can speak to the quest giver guy, and he'll give you some quests to help out with the war if you want to. And there's also some situations where you can actually betray that side, so you can kind of be like a double agent and work against them.
Oh, I like that. A lot of variability and decision makings. That's a good question from Zotar from chat. He asks, can you set up your own faction and become ruler of the worlds?
You cannot, no, sadly.
Wait, was that a still? Is that a thing to be?
Not. It was something that we wanted to have. Like we wanted to have like a home base essentially, where you could make a city and whatnot. But
Okay.
it was a little too ambitious. We kind of had to throw it on the back burner. It's something that like maybe post launch we can revisit, but can't promise anything on that front.
That throws me back to a question that I wanted to ask you. Starting with Iron Oath initially, what was like the spectrum or let's say the wish that you guys would like Iron Oath to be, and what from that spectrum of wishful thinking actually made it then into the game? Because once we sat down and started coding and creating, we see that it's not that easy, and all our fantasies have to at least narrow down a little bit so we get a game at some point and don't work on it for 20 years.
Yeah. There is a lot over the years. I mean, I would say that the overall vision is still pretty much the overall vision still matches what is currently in the game essentially. But there's definitely a lot of features. Like we wanted probably, I guess, more dynamic stuff going on with the world than we currently have. So we had to trim that back a little bit because it's mostly just a lot of writing, and like just the two of us writing takes a lot of time. So
is it just the two of you guys making all the quest lines, text lines, and
Yep. Yeah, for the most part it's Chris has done a couple of quests, but I say 90% of the writing is by me.
Wow. Do you have an estimate how many words you've put into the game?
Oh, I calculated the number in the past. I don't know right now. Maybe it's probably close to 100,000. I can't quite remember.
Ooh, okay. Yeah. And how far would you say are you finished with that, or is there more tanks to
There's a
come?
lot more to come.
I hear,
I would
hear.
probably about halfway to where we want to be by 1.0. Like right now, there's about 20
Halfway.
hours of gameplay, so we would like to hit that 40, 50 hour mark for our full release.
Okay, so the storyline around will be around 50 hours of gameplay for somebody to finish the game. Is there only campaign mode? Is there maybe also, I don't know, sandbox where you don't care about the story and just have the whole warfare going on?
Yeah, it's kind of like whatever you want to do. Basically, it's sandbox if you want to play it as a sandbox, or if you just want to focus on the story, you can totally do that too. Like the story is like aside from the intro of the game, it's completely optional, so you don't ever have to do it if you don't want to.
I see.
So you can just continue to play it, for hundreds of in-game years if you wanted to, and see what happens with the world and who takes over what territory and whatnot.
That's interesting. I have a little bit of a more advanced question that is probably more coded to fans of Iron already and who have played it. I've read a few things that you are trying and want to implement in company count and sea travel. What can we expect from that? Will the world become even further and bigger, and you have to sail to other continents and go
Well, what was the
completely
first one you
havoc?
mentioned?
Company count?
Oh,
Is it called?
the council.
Castle, exactly.
Yeah. The council is basically if you're familiar with Crusader Kings, you have an emissary type character, a battle master character. They basically perform different tasks for your company. So it's kind of like a extra layer of strategy for you to manage. So part of that goes back to the thing with the wars. You have spy master character, so you can kind of influence the world state a little bit. So you can kind of pin two factions against each other if you wanted to by planting some evidence or something like that. And then sea travel. Right now, there's no other continents that we'll be having for 1.0, but there's possibly things we'll add for expansions. But sea travel will just basically allow you to go from one place quicker than you currently can. It takes a while to travel across the world, but if we add sea travel in, then it'll shorten down the travel
basically a
distance
help
little bit.
for your company to just traverse the land a little bit faster.
Yeah, and then also specific sea events that could come up. So you might see another ship, and you'll have a little choose your own adventure event come up with that.
Or a small kraken that eats your ship up, or
Yes.
something like that. I
Exactly.
see. I'm always curious when games are in development, what kind of impact did the community have on your development and in crafting of Iron? Is there anything where you can say this exists because of feedback from players?
I'm sure there is something. It's hard to think of something specifically right now.
All good.
We first shut off the game in 2018 to the public. We took it to DreamHack, so we've definitely gotten a lot of feedback over the years that have shaped various things, probably a lot of UI things specifically, things that would help out players realize what's going on more clearly.
So mainly quality of life kind of things.
Yeah, for sure.
Amazing.
It's hard to think of. There's definitely other things. I can't think of it off the top of my head, what mechanic was off of player feedback.
It's okay. Sometimes there's situations where, I don't know, a certain mechanic or a certain thing is there because everybody was like, hey, can we please have that? And,
yeah, I mean, for early access specifically, I could say after launch, we didn't initially plan to have repairing in the game, but that was something that was commonly requested, so we had to do a pretty big update to put a repair mechanic into the game. So that was definitely one thing.
Repairing in sense of just making the whole management part a little bit more complex to keep an eye out on your equipment of the mercenaries as well.
Yeah, previously your gear would just break at some point. You'd have to buy new gear, so
Oh, I see.
Understandably, a frustrating mechanic for players, so we added in the repair mechanic. It was something we were planning to do eventually. It was just way down the line is when it was going to come in, but it was a very hot topic, so we kind of bumped it up in our timeline.
Well, there we go. Repair mechanics is existing because everybody wanted to take care of their equipment and not lose it. I mean, I get it, especially in a tactical RPG or a general RPG things where when you have your gear collected and you have your little setup set up and then you lose it because it just breaks and you can't do anything against it. That might become frustrating. I understand that.
Yeah, from our perspective, we were like, well, it doesn't matter because it's not legendary gear, but like that was when we were gonna introduce the repairs when we added the legendary gear into the game. So like for us, like it made more sense to just worry about it later on, but it was definitely something that needed to be addressed based off the feedback.
Well, lastly, to summarize it all up, Iron Oath is an tactical RPG where you play a band of mercenaries trying to do several contracts and help out the world, what's going on there. There is a storyline that you can follow that I'm not sure yet what it will tell us, but we'll find out in a little bit. And it's in-depth, it's in-complex, and apparently also has some sort of geological politics going on where different houses fight against each other that will shape and influence your gameplay. My question, and I always love to ask developers, is what is your favorite part of the game, both from perspective of development and playing it?
I think just combat.
Straight up combat.
I haven't really gotten bored of it yet. In my hundreds of hours of testing, I still enjoy the combat.
It is really good.
Basically combat and like designing classes is a lot of fun as well. That's also just recently just spent some time reworking some upgrade trees and some abilities that were a little underpowered, so that was fun to go back through it and kind of improve things based upon how the game is shaping up so far. Like cleansing ability specifically is something that was very underutilized and kind of weak, so we kind of have buffed those up a little bit so they're more attractive to use. Because right now the game, it's a lot about just doing damage, but we also wanted to have some more tactical aspects to it, so it's not always damage all the time is the answer.
Only Daka. Nice. Since it's a very, very story driven, I remember the demo back then when it was firstly released. We loved it here. We're eagerly waiting for 1.0 to hop and make a full campaign playthrough of it. I would say we hop into the game. I go into my voice acting mode. Nick, do you have any last words to shout out to our dear viewers that you want to say about Iron Oath?
Just if you're a fan of tactical RPGs, games like Battle Brothers, War Tales, Urtuk, stuff like that, I think the game would be up your alley, especially if you're a fan of Dungeons and Dragons. Like there's a lot of D&D influence in our game in terms of storytelling and the whole branching decisions you have for different events and stuff. Like original inspiration was Darkest Dungeon in D&G for the game, so I
think I read that somewhere I'm not sure if it was an interview or some feedback from you guys, and I was sold. I didn't even look at the game itself. I just read that line, and then I was hooked. And 2 weeks later, the demo came out, and it was like, oh, apparently the gods are watching over me, and made it happen. Well, Nick, thank you kindly for hanging out with us. We're gonna hop into the game. If you want to, the live stream is up and running. If anybody has any question there to chat along, and I will do my worst voice acting. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna do my best voice acting and present the story as good as possible to the dear viewers to hopefully make your mouths watery and go check out Iron Oath. Thanks a lot, Nick, and
thanks for having me.
All
Enjoy
the best
the gameplay.
also to Chris. Thank you, kindly.
Yeah, thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, give me here a quick second. This should. There we go. There we go. Let me bring this over here. Bring that over there. Beautiful. Welcome in, readers, as well. Greyhound Girl, thank you kindly for bringing over your people. Welcome to Tacticon. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask, both on Steam and on stream. And thank you, Ross. Great questions. I'll try my best. I like to have my interviews interesting. I like to ask real questions, and I had great help with Satana going in there and working up the schedule. D20 Studios, how you doing? Thank you kindly for hitting that heart button as well. Nice to see Nick on camera. Looking forward to play. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, chat. Be prepared. This game is rough, hard. It is it's something. Company name. Let's call it the Army of the North. That is the community name that we have here. The title is Jarl. That's a B Jarl. We have a flag sigil. Is there anything of Viking-esque that we can grab? A wolf I saw. Let's go with the wolf. With Fenrir. Sigil color. Let's have a white wolf. Oh yes, look at that, beautiful. Flag backgrounds. Oh, the music. Ooh. So good. Quali, thank you also for joining in. I hope you guys had a wonderful stream. There we go, green and purple. Starting points. After prologue, new game, Iron Man on. This is the way how you play it. Only one save file, no saves coming. If you fuck it up, it's over. So, Battle Hardened. For seasoned veterans of turn-based tactical RPGs, if you're looking for challenge gameplay experience, start here. This mode is for those who have already mastered the combat in Iron Oath. Okay, we're gonna play Battle Hardened because we are quite familiar with tRPGs. And I like a challenge. Start campaign. Ooh. In an era all but forgotten, the gods once lived alongside humanity in the heart of Caelum. However, an unknown cataclysm event plunged the world into the Dark Age. History was lost to time, and so too were the gods. In their absence, a rebuilding humanity was left to contend with the emergence of great being of darkness from the void. Every few decades, in an event called the Surge, the dragon's arrival would bring death and disease to the land. Those afflicted by the dragon's blight would lose their minds and bodies as they slowly became abominations of flesh and outcast to society, known as the Blighted. I love these fire particles with the smoke. Despite centuries of effort from the Vanguard Order and the realm's greatest heroes, no lasting victory against the dragon could be achieved. Humanity has now come to accept that the inevitable English hard of the scourge as part of life, enduring or in some cases thriving despite it. With whispers of an independent scourge circulating, you and your company find yourselves in a burial crypt not far from the city of Andilon. A simple retrieval of smuggled supplies, or at least that's what your employer had promised. Okay, so we're in a crypt going for some easy loot, apparently. Or at least that's what somebody promised us. I'm gonna tell you, Chad, he's lying. Whenever your boss comes up to you and he's like, I have an easy task for you, see, no. Look at the pixel graphics. I love this. Oh! Burned to death. That grave robbers, stay sharp. No doubt his companions will have heard that. Everyone stands still. Tension is rising as they grip on their weapons tight and scan the room for further hostiles. You hear a muffled shout from someone in the adjacent corridor, likely directed towards their new deceased associate. The sound of quickening footsteps soon follows, and 3 figures burst through the doorway at the far side of the room. Shit! Should I go and alert the others? Eric shook his head, eyes fixed on the enemy. No. Time for that. We have no choice about fights. Battlehorn sounds good. Yeah, it sounds good. So, VSD or mouse button to move around. Mind that archer and find yourself some cover. Okay, each turn your character can move. There are a maximum of hexes that can move. To cover more ground, they can sprint onto the great hexes, but they will not be able to do anything else. Okay. You can swap places with an ally by moving on their location. Okay. By holding shift, you can draw custom road to go. Okay, that's good. To undo a movement, click the undo button on the hotbar or E. If you take damage or trigger a stage hazard, you will be unable to undo your movement. So if you go into a trap, you can undo it. Makes sense because it's like, oh, there's a trap. I'm sorry. Let's just undo it. It's easy mode. Let's move the Stormcaller into cover. Okay. The Stormcaller. Man, they have so many great names. So what can the Stormcaller do? He can do an electrocute. Range 5, 4 damage. I guess, or 4 electricity, whatever that means. I guess that's damage. Okay, let's move him to cover. If you don't have a desirable action to perform, you can delay the character until the next round by hitting the wait button. Alternatively, you can end the character's turn in a guard mode. That gives him a turn to bonus of defense and evasion. Okay. Click the wait button and delay the Stormcaller's turn. Wait button. Very good. Your character abilities have limited number of charges. The blue thingies. Okay. Charges can be destroyed by camping. Restored by camping or by certain provisions. Okay. So they are just a limited amount of uses with them. Which engine was used to love the sexy guns? I do not know. Maybe Nick is still in channel and can answer that. So we want over here to place a fire trap. Here comes the archer. Quick draw. He gets a hit. Boom. Very good. As you can see, it is important to pay attention to your intentional hazards when positioning your units. Some abilities are able to push your targets by forcing targets into obstacles or terrain. You can inflict damage and other harmful effects. Move the pugilist into position and use Crescent Wave. Crescent Wave is a kick and is pushing them back. Okay. So we've learned with shifts we can do that. Wait a bit. Can I push him into the pit? Is that what's happening here? Oh, that's a wide kick. Oh, yes. And he's stunned, apparently. That was good. That was good. So they want me to move over here. Every character on the battlefield exerts zones of control to their position. If a unit leaves the zone without suffering an attack of opportunity from their foe. Okay, a unit can leave it, but they will be an attack of opportunity if they do that. So, keeping that in mind, you can't bind people, so to say. Each character has a basic attack with unlimited uses. Okay. So, keeping that in mind, we can block off regions. Okay. There you go. Quality. With Unity, it has been created. Nice swing. Give a clear view of the archer. Take him down. Most attack abilities are subject of line of sight. Check when target is a red eye indicates above them. That means they have no line of sight. Okay. Large obstacles as pillars can block the line of sight. Smaller obstacles can lower the damage. Taking cover behind a small obstacle, you can look over and shoot. Fair enough. The Stormcaller Conduit's ability can devastate a single enemy from range, but takes a few turns to channel. I see. So he will come in here. So the archer will shoot once. Okay, fair enough. Let's do that. With the nearest enemy stunned, the Paralancer can't safely move past their zone control without triggering it. Yeah, makes sense, because he's stunned and he can't not do that. Let's move up here. I guess we're gonna get a quick draw here. Boom, another shot. Another hit. He's stunned. Fair enough. Oh! That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Let's take Matt. Nice. Morale. The pugilist was killed an enemy and gained morale. Morale is displayed by the white bar of each character. It represents their mood and attitude towards the current mission. Morale is gained and lost through various combat triggers. Landing killing blow will increase the morale, while suffering a critical strike will lower it. A character with low morale will take longer to recover from a mission and will also lose loyalty towards the company. Ooh, okay, so we have to consider that as well. Target considered flanked from two opposite hexagons, or sexagons as Quali calls them. Welcome in Garuda. All attacks against flanked targets deal extra damage and cannot miss. They cannot miss if they're flanked. Oof, that is evil. Let's smack him. Time to end this. Holy sh... He just exploded. We have Raiden on our side. I'm telling you, this is turn-based Mortal Kombat. We have a weak ale, restores morale, and we have a bandage. Stabilize injuries, dispel bleed, and restore small amount of health. Loot it all. That was gruesome. That was very gruesome. Oirik sheaths his weapon, gazing around the room to make sure all are unharmed. Everyone alright? Roderick gestures of some blood in Oric's arm. Never mind us. You certainly look better. Yuri glances down his injury and scoffs. What, this? He wipes the blood, making a smeary mess of it. Nothing. Nothing time would heal. I'll be fine. You turn as a familiar voice rings out of your distant behind you. Though the words are unclear. Is that you, Vaughn? Vaughn dashes into the room and stops, kneeling over to catch his breath. He looks up and has a relieved smile. Ha! Glad to see you. You're still alive with us. We heard fighting. Figured you could handle it. But I didn't want to take the chance. And the others? Vaughn points back in the direction he came from. Tori and the rest are still searching. Surely there are better places to stash supplies, but, well, I suppose the smugglers had little choice. At least we're getting paid well to retrieve them. We've been in worse situations. Aye. That we have, boss. We're just hoping my last job would be, well, free of surprises. I can't fool you for wanting out, but I wish you'd reconsider. Vaughn smiles faintly and places a firm hand on Oirig's shoulder. This life takes its toll, my friend. I've seen more death than any man should. His face goes dark for a brief moment, remembering all the friends he've lost. Your trusted advisor Alaric steps out from beside you with a hand raised, bringing a halt to the conversation. All right now, there's plenty of time for talk later. It's going to take a while to score this place, even with other help. All right, I better get back to Torin and the rest before they find themselves lost. Watch your backs. There may be more of these thieves in here. Or worse yet. Vaughn looks back over his shoulders, nodding in acknowledgement. Let's get moving. Dude. Okay, so it has... Since we had a comparison to Darkest Dungeon, apparently has some sort of dungeon movement that you choose the path to go. Interesting. Interesting. Love this concept. It looks, you like how it looks? Karuda, it looks delicious. Looks good. We can scout ahead. Let's move. Scouting can be useful in order to spot enemies, traps, or other things. Okay. Let's give it a try. Scout. Okay. That's a corner. And a stash. When interacting with an exploration events, you'll often have multiple choices, sometimes costing various amounts of time. Your character will have their own opinion on choices you make. Sometimes actions require a stat check, and the character with the highest relevant attribute will choose for the task. The character question will give you feedback and help you gauge their chances of success. Okay. So the cautious one is not happy with that. The rash one is like, yeah, let's open it. And looting it takes 1 turn. And I have down here a counter with 6 out of 16 turns. Okay, so I have to think about how much time I spend in the dungeon. Fair enough. That is amazing, Fruta. I'm happy to hear that. Don't expect to find much value, but it's like they'll be coming back to claim it. No sense in leaving it for another to find. Take whatever looks good, and let's stay a turn here. And Dina likes it. Einard does not like it. Small healing potion and a bandage. And tools. Continue. Let's scout ahead. Provisions can be used in both in and out of combat while exploring. Okay. Provisions. Healing potions. There you go. And we have a battle ahead. Whew. Fruta doing wonderful. Thank you kindly for asking. We have the Tacticon going on, as you can see on the title. Exclamation mark Tacticon if you want to check it out. We're also live on here as well as on Steam, presenting all kinds of games throughout the event. Feel free to check it out. Exclamation mark schedule, because I wrote schedule wrong. We'll give you also the time stamps of what we're presenting during this weekend. Feel free to check it out. For those questions, Fruta, let's wait until after Tacticon. There's a lot going on, and I would love to share it with you. During development phase, you are able to reposition your party. Fair enough. Okay, so what we have here? We have an arbalist. He will probably shoot. We have a barricade over here where we can probably shoot over it. And a risen ghoul. I have no clue what kind of abilities they have yet. We're gonna find out. But let's bring you over here. Let's bring you over here. Over here. Start combat. So he is first. Let's move up here. Let's wait. Let's move over here. Let's guard. No. Move. There we go. Let's put a flame on that. We're waiting. Shooting at me? How dare they? How dare they? 50% less. I have no target to select. I could go over here. And destroy that. And with that, I could move up here. And do a kick. Not necessarily as planned. So what I have here, safeguard. Channels for 4 turns, applying a damage on herself and her target that lasts for 2 rounds. Heal the target. Let's safeguard him. Oh, there's bad movement over here. Let's move you over here. Let's wait. A bolt of lightning that hits the primary target and arcs to all ejected adjacent targets. Let's see. He's up next. Let's give it a wait. Oh, nasty shots. Nasty, nasty shots. Oh, that triggers me as well. I thought we were oh my goodness. I thought we'd be safe of that, but apparently not. Dash to an enemy cell and strike an adjacent enemy twice. There we go, 2 hits. Give it a normal swing. They reanimate. Oh my goodness. Terrible is that? Let's make sure he's dead. He explodes. Why did he just explode? Let's bring thunderbolts of lightning. Ooh, nice. Dodged. He dodged that one. Wonderful slap. Wonderful hits. Oi, oi, oi. Not doing that well. Some very poor decisions in terms of the movements. Let's switch position and finish it off. Oof, everybody got some hits. And enemy preparations. The forces are now well aware of your presence. Increased chance of ambush by 10%. As you explore, your time modifier goes up, and the more time you take, the more difficult it will be to survive. You signal for a halt and hear a rumbling. Steadily growing louder and closer with each passing moment, you look up, noticing cracks forming in the ceiling as a small rock breaks off and falls in the floor in front of you. Auric bumps against you and tugs at your arm, urging you to run. It's a cave-in! We need to move! Breaking into stride behind the rest of your party, you steal a glance back to see the corridor collapsing in the casket of falling stones. You cross the threshold into another chamber, diving to the ground as the path behind you is quickly closed off by the crumbling structure. A cloud of dirt and dust obscures your vision, but the rumbling and crashing comes to an halt, and the last few pieces of debris can be heard tumbling into position.
Everyone okay?
You look around as the dust settles. Aside from a few coughing fits, everyone seems to be unscathed. What the hell was that? An earthquake?
Might have been. Or those grave robbers trying to force their way into some place they shouldn't.
Oirik inspects the cave-in passage, lightly kicking at some rubble on the ground.
Regardless, I'll have to find another way out.
What of the others? And the supplies we're supposed to locate? Your Oirik places a reassuring hand on Einhard's shoulder.
Vaughn and them were on the other side of the crypts. I suspect they're fine, or at least I hope. Our priority is to find them. Hopefully, they'll already retrieve the supplies so we could do with a little luck.
Oh, let's move over here. And now, we gonna camp. Let's camp. During longer missions, you can make camp in order to rest the party. Camping does not cost time and instead resets the meter to 0. Some locations are safer, and we should pick a spot at fewer points of entry. This is the chance. Campsite risk is 30. Oh, I see. Well, over here might be a good place, since there's only one entrance position. Make camp 0? Okay. Our path is blocked by a pile of rubble from a recent cave-in. Yurik steps forward and climbs upon the severity of the blockage.
It's not that bad. Can still a camp path ahead. Just need to move enough of this rubble so we can squeeze through. Any ideas?
Move the rubble by hand. Blast a hole with magic. This could prove risky. Hand Yurik a shovel. Let's give him a shovel. With an unfirming nod, Yurik grasps the shovel and begins to dig, soon clearing the path just wide enough for everyone to fit in. Because we had a shovel in the inventory, as I saw before. The body crawls through the gap, sliding through to the other side. Easy now, it's just me. I thought this whole damn place was going to come upon us. The structure groans and rumbles for a moment, and he glances around with some concern. It might yet. Oirik motions backwards toward the collapse.
The whole section is caved in. We'll need to find a way out. Or we're done.
I figured as much. Torin and the others are already set to finding one. I think you haven't found the supplies yet either. Eric slowly shakes his head.
Unfortunately not. Let's hope they're not buried in stone. Regroup with Torin and secure the exit, Vaughn.
Sure thing, boss. He quickly scans your surroundings and leans in close, for expressions turning deadly serious. There's something else. And that commotion has disturbed the dead within these walls. We already put down a few of these bastards, but you best stay alert for me.
Thanks for the warning. We'll tread carefully.
There's another fight. Oh, that looks so good. What the frick is that blade dagger doing? So they have an archer. Let's move back, I would say. Start combat. He could go. Let's wait. She will go. She's honing her weapon. There is a heal possibility. So I'm gonna go up here and heal you. There we go. Nearly full. Quick draw shot. I can deal with that. Want to take her out quick. So I'm gonna move up here. And we're gonna do an... What is this here? Deal 2 damage targets in a row. Damage a single adjuncted target, applies burn. Plus 25 damage. Burn, baby, burn. Ooh, nice. Wonder how much damage the burn does, though. The range of this is 4. I could give it a shot. Got a shot. They're all moving up. And now can switch out and do a normal attack. Ooh! Completely destroyed. Oh, there's a cave-ins happening. I see. Now let's move over here. You want to take the arch route? Quick tip, you can hold tab to see the movements. Oh. Oh. Oh, that is beautiful. Okay. Yeah, that comes in handy. Thank you. I could kill the archer. Let's take him out. Let's move up here. Slam in the back. Okay. I see we keep on firing here. Stabby stab to death. If I do that, it happens after the archer. That's okay. The archer will die. Getting 2 hits there. There's some stones falling down. I'm still getting acquainted with all these. So if I tell him to wait... Let's move over here. Give him an attack. Which makes a quick draw. Gets zapped to death. Gonna go over here. Another slam. Another hit. And he's dead. We're not looking so good. Yorick runs their hand along the wall of the Interred Dead, reading the inscriptions of a nameplate before moving on to the next. He stops at the tone, peering closer and double-checking the name before turning with relief in his voice.
This is the one we were told to look for, boss. About time. Let's hope the content are still intact.
Reaching with both arms into the dark, Yorick firmly grabs and holds a coffin, its ancient and rotting wood creaking in protest. He gingerly slides the coffin part way out and pushes the lid aside, rummaging around briefly before pulling out the stashed pack with care. Taking a peek inside to confirm the content, he walks over to you and hands off the bag.
It's all there. No damage to the vials, from what I can tell. Unless your employer won with them anyway.
Elric interjects, eager to share his knowledge on the matter. This here is secure the blight, or at least it slows the process. The Vanguard keeps its tightly controlled though. Only treatment those who have pledged themselves to their order. Such is highly sought after the black market. It's why our employer is paying us well. Okay, so it's a drug that keeps you from getting infected, so to say. At least our efforts haven't been wasted. Let's regroup with Vaughn and hope that they're found an exit. Dude. We need to camp, otherwise we're freaking screwed. Your sudden movement in the darkness. The sound of bones rattling and scrapping along the stone's floor. Prepare to find. Your foes are well aware. Increased chance of ambush, so it wasn't an ambush, so to say. One archer. Start combat. Wait. Heal yourself. Put one of those. So he can definitely shoot. Okay. Kablam. Oh, that was a miss. That's a bummer. Well then, parry. We're gonna wait. Mind over matter. You can dispel negative conditions from your character with a cleansing ability by using your antidote item. Not all harmful effects can be cleansed, however, such as injuries or flank debuff. Antidote item. Safeguard. Damage shields absorb incoming damage. Heal a single target. Good, let's start blocking him off here. One hit. Oh, it takes that away? Thought I could make multiple ones. And that's a shame. Good shot. Okay. Maybe 50 damage. That will be an attack opportunity. So, no, I don't want to do that. Get over here. Dash onto him. 2 hits. This one bites the dust. Very good. Let's set him aflame. Ow. Make sure that one does not get up. Okay. Attacking with range in close combat does not trigger attack of opportunity. Fair enough. Let's hit them away. Both of them. He's burning. Oh. That was a nasty hit. Gonna keep do the burning thing on him. Let's keep doing that. Ow. Moving up here. Taking a shot on the general. He's down. That one revives in a turn. So let's move over here and take it out. That one revives in the turn. Let's give it a smack. Take it out. Very good. We blocked. A miss. Wow. So let's conquer him. Oh my goodness. When a character gains enough experience point, they will level up and receive attribute points. There are 6 attribute points: physique, finesse, toughness, conviction, insight, and mind. Each of them contributes to the character's stats. Ability points are also used to... Oh my goodness, their stats, their abilities to unlock. By leveling up, you unlock new abilities for each character. Each class has 6 abilities to unlock, though they can only equip 4 at a time. You're not required to spend your points right away. You can access the level screen in the management menu. Oh, I love this. I love this. Increase accuracy, critical chance, and evasion. Oh, yes, baby. Give me a point in there. Health and defense. Give me 2 points in finesse. I have 2 ability points. I can make the kick more potent. Gain 1 movement for rounds. So after the kick, I can move away, so to say. Interesting. What does the punch do? There's a higher dash range. If it's a killing blow, it's dealt on the first hit. The strike an adjacent enemy. Oh my goodness, that's also not bad. What else we got here? Strike an adjacent enemy and warp directly behind them for a second strike that pushes them away. A warp behind them. So you hit them, then warp behind them, and then you push them away. Target self or single allied, restoring health, cleansing negative conditions, and stabilizing all injuries. Mind, body, soul. That sounds like good party support. Increase the pugilist evasions and power by 50 for 3 turns. Yeah, let's go for... Oh, I cannot grab this. Fair enough. We'll unlock this later on higher levels. Good. So far, I can only choose fist or Lego. Let's do a stronger hit. And over here... Increase the dash range. Increase the damage. Increase the activity range of cleave by 1 cell. Well, that's even better. Yeah, let's do that. Or not? No. Let's do dash range. Confirm. So with Einards, increase critical damage and perception. Increase critical chance and accuracy. Let's put 1.1 point. And we want this here. Reduces channel time by 1. Yeah. Channel time by 1 is immense. Gain 1 additional charge for this ability. Or even stronger. Let's get 1 more charge so we can spam this. Confirm. Edina. Perception. Defense and morale. Let's get toughness up a little bit. And conviction. Your healing spell. Generates 2 radiant stacks from the guard's passive ability. Target gains 10 speed for 1 turn. Crit heal. Heal boost. Now we go for Radiant Dawn. And then 1 additional charge. Apply. So she becomes a healer. Then we confirm. Then we grab all the loots. Oh, I love the complexity. Still no camping. That's the end over there. Sheesh. I'm a little bit afraid to not do something here. Take that. Heal that. Heal that. There, have a healing. The party comes at a standstill, and muffled shouts ringing still reverbs down the corridor. Derek unsheathes his lance, motioning the rest of you forward, and breaks into the stride, barreling towards the sound of battle.
This would be the others, hurry!
Ooh.
Dude, who's that bearded guy with the axe?
Looks badass. Look at them just take them apart. He just pounded on his chest while the others were fighting. Your party comes to a standstill as muffled shouts and ringing still reverberates down the corridor. Oregon sheathes his lance, motioning the rest of you to forward as he breaks into stride, barreling towards to the sound of battle.
This might be the others, hurry!
With the last of the undead dealt, Vaughn hails to you across the chamber with a flick of his hand. A relieved smile forming up on his face as he strides closer to meet you. Did you find it? The exit's just beyond here. We try to keep it clear of the dead, but they just keep coming. A pile of bones near Torrent's feet suddenly begins to rattle, and the eyes of his skull reignites. In a bright green, unseen forces attempt to reassemble the skeletons. Torrent grunts and steps forward, crushing the skull beneath his heel and grinding it into the fine dust. He looks upon with a satisfying grin.
Look, you all along enough.
Vaughn? He was getting all worked up, thinking the worst. The crypt groans once more, the ground beneath you shaking ever slightly. I don't expect destruction to hold as much longer. Y'all would best not linger. Eric raises his torch high, inspecting the ceiling above. A small pebble breaks away from it.
Good advice, I reckon.
We got what we came for, let's go! Injuries and recoveries. After a mission, you'll want to seek treatment for any injuries your party has incurred. While an injured character can still fight, injuries penalties make themselves less effective. In order to fully recover, you must pay for the treatment in the city's infirmary. Makes sense. So number of killing blows. Total healing done. Loyalty goes up. Loot found. Scroll of lethality. Okay. There's things that we can repair. Good. Now the fun starts. Now the real fun starts. As the last light of the day begins to fade, you spot your company's camp not far ahead. The flickering flames of bonfires dance against the darkness sky above the horizon. You stroll into the camp, the celebration of Vaughn's retirement. Oh, Vaughn is getting a retirement? After many hours of swapping stories and sharing drinks, all eyes fall on Vaughn as he steps atop of a nearby crate with a drink in hand, raising his voice to pierce through the ruckus. Now, you all know I'm not one for lengthy speeches, but I'd just like to say that it's been an honor to fight alongside each other. I dare say that I've even considered some of you my friend. He grins, met by a chorus of laughs and cheers. It hasn't been easy, but being a fortune man, not everyone gets out of this mercenary life on their own terms. I hope you all have one of these days the same chance. He raises his cup into a toast. To you, my friends. There has never been a finer company. Hear, hear. The crowd responds with a burst of applause and cheers, enthusiastically rising their drinks and sending showers of ale through the air. Your gaze is met by Vaughn as he points his cup towards you, and you nod your head in a friendly acknowledgement before turning out and striding off to find your tent. With this celebration continuing on your absence, you brush aside and flap to your tent and settle inside, discarding your weaponry and tossing it to a near bedroll. You turn to find Alaric in your presence, no doubt eager to discuss business. Hope I'm not disturbing you, y'all. I was on my way to pay the horses a visit and prepared us tomorrow's travel. Gestures to the pack slung around his shoulder containing the contraband you recently received. It's probably best if I store those vials in one of our carriages. You gently slide the pack of your shoulders and place it in his upturned hand. Well then, best take care of this. He nods respectfully and turns, pushing aside the tent flap with an outstretched arm and briskly walking out into the night. You turn your attention to your desk. Its roof is covered with disorganized papers and maps, illuminating by the faint glow of a candle. Pulling up a stool, you sit down. You begin to pore over one of those maps, charting out tomorrow's course. From outside, the sound of laughter and poorly played music drifts into the tent. After some time, with his celebrating audibly winding down, you step outside of your tent into the cool evening air. Vaughn approaches your side, mounted atop a horse. Despite the smile on his face, there is a trace of sadness in his eyes. It's time then, huh? Yeah. Leans down and pets the side of the horse. Got my saddle loaded up, figured I'd sneak out without making a big fuss. He rises him from his seat and dismounts, turning to face you with one hand extended. Just wanted to say thank you, boss, for everything. You'd return the gesture with a smile, gripping his hand and giving him a firm shake. Well, this is cute. Any chance I can convince you to stay? He steps back and chuckles. If you have asked last week, maybe. But this last job cleared my doubts I had. I survived this long, reckon I'd be fool to press any luck any further. Fair enough, friend. We'll always have a place for you if you change your mind. You hear his shouts and turn to see Eurik step towards you, his young nephews in tow. Sorry to interrupt. He tilts his head, gesturing behind him. But Gedrick, he wanted to see you off. Is that so? Von smiled, stepped forward to the boy and slapped a hand down on his shoulder. Now we haven't finished your training, but your uncle is more than capable of finishing the job. I know, Dad. He looks up, conveying admiration. I'm going to miss you, though. Aye. Von grins, reaches out to tussle the young boy's hair. And aye, you. I've half a mind to send with you. Less danger of a farm. And gods know your old bones could use help. Ha! There's a few good years in me yet, but you're both welcome to visit anytime. He exhales deeply, stealing a glance towards the roads. Best get going then. Take care of yourselves, would ya? A quick sip. He nods farewell, turning downwards his horse and hoisting himself into the saddle. Clicking the heels, the horse trots off, and you watch him disappear into the dark of night, illuminating only by the moonlight above. You and Eurik glance back to the sound of approaching footsteps to find Torin wedging himself between the two of you, his heavy hands firmly planted on any of your shoulders. Company won't be the same without him, I'm afraid. Indeed, it won't. As Eurik and Torin take their leave, you look around the camp, surveying the aftermath of the festivities. Aside from a few inebriated men and women who remain slumped by the fires, it feels that most have turned in for the night. With the days of travel ahead, you think it's wise to follow the suit. Give me a quick moment. Beautiful. So we're going to bed. Oh, this doesn't good. You boulder bright from your sleep, awakened by the blares of horns from somewhere in your camp. An alarm being raised. The sound of a frenzied battle are all around you. You scramble out of your bedroll, taking up a nearby sword. Alaric bursts into your tent, an orange glow briefly visible behind him as the flap is flung aside. Y'all, we're under attack! Winity takes in a few deep breaths. There was the warning. The horses, the carriages. He raises his hand, trembling with frustration. Everything's been taken! We need to regroup with the others. Have you seen Oirik? Alaric wipes the sweat from his brow, shaking his head. Couldn't find him. With his nephew, I hope? You meet Alaric's eyes and nod in agreement. With a firm grip on your sword, you step past him, reaching your other hand towards the tent to flap and preparing to step outside. You glance over your shoulder. Let's move. Stay close. You emerge from your tent, heads on a swivel as you attempt to survey the situation. The camp is almost entirely ablaze, the heat and the smoke stinging your eyes and obscuring your vision. You make your way ahead, your feet suddenly catching on something as you fall forward and scramble to stay upright. Recovering, you steal a glance backwards at the obstruction. One of your companions, dead. An arrow flies by you, narrowly missing, but finding a target nonetheless. Alaric screams out in pain behind you, legs collapsing under him as he falls hard on the ground. You turn back, reaching out a hand to pull him up, but he waves you off. Leave me. I'll be no use in a fight. You follow his gaze down to his leg, a blood-covered arrow stuck in through. Go! You turn to continue onwards, staying low on the ground as you move, eyes scanning for a friendly face through the smoke. Not 50 yards ahead, you spot 4 of your companions through the haze, huddled together with weapons drawn against an overwhelming number of assailants. Sucking air into your burning lungs, you urge your legs forwards in a desperate attempt to reach them. A figure suddenly appears from the corner of your eye, and with a flash of pain, the world goes dark. Bam! We're knocked down. Surrounded, Einat's head whips around, searching frantically for a possible escape as the raiders edge closer. Beyond the ring of enemies, Torian and a few other familiar faces emerge from the darkness with bloodied weapons drawn, though they don't seem inclined to make any urgent use of them. What are you waiting for, Torian? Help us! The raiders eye Torian as he confidently steps among them, each seemingly unconcerned by his presence, perhaps even emboldened by it. Sorry, friends. A twisted smirk forms. What a cunt! Oh, he betrayed us! Oh my goodness. A twisted smirk forms a corner of his mouth as he slides an arrow from his quiver. We'll make it as quick. Oh! Eddie! Einat glares at Torian with a wild fury in her eyes, arms trembling as they level their weapons towards him. You damn traitor! Have you no honor? Torian scoffs. Honor achieves little in this world. Glancing sideways at its accomplice, he raised the hand signaling him to attack. I trust your lot can handle the rest. Spare no one. Does he move away? He runs away. So we have one archer. We have 2 archers. Oh, you kidding me? What an ass! What a freaking ass. Okay, she's zoning. I thought we would kill him off, but apparently not. Inflicts slow on occupants, lowering their speed. Lowering your accuracy, but increases your evasion. Moving through tall grass allows you to avoid attacks of opportunity. Interesting. Well, let's all move to a side. Ow. Okay, just take him apart. Oh, nice. One bites the dust. If I do that, he runs into the other thing. I'm not sure if that makes extra damage. Well, let's give it a try. It did knock him. Did knock him a little bit. Let's give it a swing. He comes closer and takes another shot. Oh, that's a crit. Ow. Let's move up here. Woo! Another one bites the dust. Okay. 2 down, 4 to go. He'll be able to move up here. Okay, we should be safe up here. Oh my goodness. Dude, he's getting bombarded and slammed. Oh, I need to change places with him. That is safeguard, that is healing. Give him a heal. Minus 50. That's good. As I was hoping for. If I move away, I will get an attack of opportunity. That will come... Oh, that's beautiful. Let's make it happen. So... Round 4. Bam. Ow. That's a good hit. Let's safeguard him. Okay, that heals debuffs apparently. Kill her off. Dash kill. We gotta go all in. 2 more to go. Wow. I would have not thought that we gonna survive this here. But apparently we did. Moving over here. Now I can freely shoot. Let's charge it up. Good. Safeguarded. Heal yourself. Let's move over here and attack. Nice swing. Give him a hit. Beautiful. That was a miss. Is that a crit? Oh, yes! Didn't. I thought we'd die here, but apparently we didn't. Whew. Thank you for the GGs. Scrap. Sold scrap material can be sold in the market or used to repair gear. Fair enough. Opening your eye, you find yourself sprawled on the ground with a mouthful of dirt and throbbing ache to your head. Despite the ringing of your ears, you can hear a muffled voice calling out, and a hand grips your shoulder, and you jerk at the touch, clawing on the ground and scramble onto your back.
Easy now.
Oh, my bad. You exhale with relief to see at the side of Ulrich leaning over you. You try to regain your senses. You look around, smoking remains in your camp. Everything is destroyed and on fire, or taken by the fire.
Not much left, sir. Basher took everything.
Closes his eyes, lowering his head and sliding deeply.
It was Torin, y'all. He betrayed us.
Torin, are you sure?
Yeah. Wasn't alone either. Demon in us Nira. All fucking traitors.
Through anger, he noticed a sadness in his eye, realizing suddenly that his nephew isn't present. Oh no. Where's Gedrick? Or he glances down and slowly shaking his head.
Don't know for certain, but I fear he's dead. I was with him when the attack started, but we ran into trouble. Told the boy to run, but... Don't remember much else, I'm afraid. I woke up to Ulrich dragging me out of under a pile of bodies.
Ulrich's alive? Are there any others?
Aye, he's alive. I should find a place to hide and patch himself up. Told him to stay off the feet. But he's out of there limping around trying to salvage what he can. Thankfully, there's a few others too. Seem they managed to kill a whole group of bastards. I'm afraid that's all though.
Dude, the music, so good. You turn to see Ulrich emerging from a half-burned tent, limping away, helped along by other survivors of your company. Gods! We're glad to see you, Jarl. Glance at the Ulrichs. Have you shared the news?
I did.
Ulrich fumbles inside the coat, pulling out the fuely scorched papers. I found some correspondence in one of their tents. They had been planning this for months, it seems. Edina mutters under their breath. Traitorous bastards. Any idea who they were working with? I'm afraid not. Certainly more than just a ragtag group of thieves. They were too well armed and too well organized. Ulrich scoffs with disgust, leaning over to spit on the ground.
A group of cowards, I say. Easy to achieve victory when half the troop are passed out drunk. Never did like Torin. Always felt uneasy around him.
Ulrich fluffs his brow. I can hardly stomach the notion, but could Vaughn have been involved? Ulrich waves a dismissive hand.
Not a chance. I know it. He and Torin got on well enough. But a man's loyal as this... just glad he wasn't here before all this. We've lost too many already.
Could Vaughn be involved in all this? I mean, he just left the camp right before the attack happened. Or it's just stupid coincidence. Regardless of whose involvement, there's little what we can do, at least for now.
What's your plan, boss?
Ulrich places a claiming hand on Ulrich's shoulder. Boss is right, with little choice in that matter. I understand you want vengeance, so do I. But when we haven't the manpower yet. If we're going to do this, we'll need to first restore our numbers, then I promise we'll hunt those traitors down. Look around your companions, renewed purpose in their eyes, and everybody nods in agreement. Right then, let's move on. Navigating on the overworlds, and now the whole fun starts. Given the situation we can afford the journey, we should make our way to the city of Endolin and regroup. They're friendly, there's the Circle of Magi, there's all kinds of other cities going on. There's Solace. How far does it go? Okay. Shepfield, Endolin, Velden, Novenhold. I like that symbol over here. Was it Norway that had that symbol? I think Norway was it. Way back in times. The northern part of Norway. Okay. Confirm. So we're traveling. What does that mean? The roads are active with trades. Sell price minus 20%. Fair enough. Enter the city. After many long days, you reach the city of Vandalin.
The days are growing darker, that's for sure.
The nobs, they're
concerned about the scourge.
Can't say I blame them. On the bright side, there will be no shortage of work available to us. We could do all kinds of things after a few days of rest. Alaric begins to shuffle forwards, gesturing ahead of a nod. I believe the inn is this way. So we're gonna have we had 3 days of rest. With the morning sun shining into the room, you rise from your bed, pleased to find your body finally free of any aches.
Morning, Jarl. Looking a sight better, huh? Sit, eat.
Across the table, Alaric tears off a piece of bread and hands it over you. There's also a spoonful of porridge. Dude, I'm hungry now. We're here just discussing our next. Alaric trails off. The man approaches the table. Your previous employer, Kaldwin. I must say I'm surprised to see you here. I heard about the battle. I heard you were dead. In fact, he slides into the seat opposite to you. Yet here you are. Heard it from whom? Your associate. Looks trying to recall the name. Torin. That was it. Tall bastard. Said your entire company was killed in an ambush, and that he was lucky to be alive. Anyway, he brought me these vials, and so we concluded our business, and he went on his way. You just believe the story? Truth be told, no. I could tell he was hiding something, but it wasn't about to refuse the man. I suspect he could rip me apart with his bare hands, were he so inclined.
Was there anyone else with him? A boy, 15 years?
The man scratches his chin. He had a few companions from what I saw, none that young, however. Any idea where they were headed? I didn't know that either, I'm afraid, but it seemed that they were each going their separate ways. Alaric raises an eye at the piece of information. Retiring, perhaps? They certainly can't afford it, having stolen everything from us. So they betrayed you and stole your fortune, did they, huh? I'm sorry to hear that, but perhaps we can help each other out. You got a job? More of an arrangement. Calvin leans in closer, placing an elbow on the table.
I've been looking forward to expand my business, but the roads are dangerous, you know? And as you well know, I'm in need of a permanent guard. In return, I would offer you a discount on all my wares, potions, elixirs, and everything you like. I'm sure there'll be a great use in our line of work. To be clear, I would not interfere with any operation of the company. Of that you can be sure. In fact, I care not where we travel as long as there's buyers for me to sell to. So what do you think? Sounds like a fair proposal. Accept. Cadmus smacks his hand on the table. Ha! Excellent! Then consider me at your service. And as I said, where we go is entirely up to you. Alaric lifts his hand, a single finger raised. There's one problem though, however. We simply cannot afford to travel anywhere at the moment. Not to mention we're without carriages and horses. Oh. You certainly had a rough go of it, huh? He waves a hand. No matter. I can supply the horses and carriages. As for funds, I can hear the local vanguard have their hands full of the moments. Go check them out. Thanks for the tip. We'll go and see. Okay. So we are going to have a chat with the vanguards. And we've just created the Army of the North. And now, I think now the actual real fun starts. Where you get reputations and all kinds of funny things. Bandits have been spotted on the roads. Sell price goes up, buy price even goes up. I love that it gives you an overall feedback. Is there a roadmap for what they're going to make before release? There is, and we're going to check it out in a little bit. Pick up some work from some local Vanguard representative. Back on your feet. So we're going to skip here a little bit through it since we're very short on time. And I want to have a little bit of more look on company. So we're meeting the officer and ask him that we could
lend a hand. He's talking about Scourge and Void spawns and needs us to go and report because some of his men went missing. Exactly. So, wants to escort some refugees that have been attacked. So, let's leave the city. And let's go to the point of interest. 13 days. Let's do that. There's a salary of payments in a few days. I'll lose 1 coin at a time. After days spent, the roads is in their sign. As long as they're stuck on the road, we should find them soon. They're thrown into one way or another. I'll bet you see a figure emerging. Refugees coming in. Please help! The vanguard, they seem to be dead and be killed by void spawn. So one of the vanguard's soldier tries to wrench their spear free from a demon's skull. Well, apparently have troubles with the... Oh, the music is so good. With some creatures spawning. We're talking about our officer that has hired us. And that we're gonna protect the refugees while he's fighting. So he's telling that the voids are still following us and that we should go through a cave, so to say. Roderick is fatigued. Yeah, you guys go. Unable to retreat, fair enough. So, purchasing his provisions. This is like Darkest Dungeon here. Where I purchase provisions. Give me one of those. Weak ale antidotes. Bandages. And a healing potion. Venture forth. Setting locks at the cave's entrance, emotion, wary. Okay, we're going into the cave where apparently some void spawn are behind us. Let's tread carefully then. So, let's scout ahead. There is a battle ahead. Ew, what the hell are those? I don't think he can come over it. Although he has a lot of reach. Movement 4, speed 2. Sheesh. Okay. Let's move him over here. Let's move you over here. Let's move you over here. And you over there. Start combat. We're gonna wait the turn. Oh shit. I didn't think of that. That she will able to do some shooting to him. Let's give him a heal. He's back on top. And his debuff has been cleared. Let's move over here. Set this baby on fire. Let's go ham. Oh. That thing has a lot of life points. Luring darkness. Shit, because I was standing in that thing. Damn it. Ow. Please kill it. He's sleeping. Apparently that takes a turn to set up. Should be okay. That was a miss. Set him on fire. Whatever nasty creature that is. Ow. That's a bleed. Bin bird. Oh, he explodes. That thing explodes. Move over here. Do an attack. Move over here. Smack that all on the floor. Oh, interesting. Ew! She's fast. Subjugates. Wait. Does that do what I think it does? Oh, are you kidding me? There we go. Take it apart. Some unnecessary damage that we got there. Some unnecessary damage that we got there. You're not sure when or how it happened, but it seems you have misplaced a few items. Lost a bandage. Oh, are you kidding me? Okay. Using ghoul and some flayers. Let's go back and use the max range that we have. Start deployments. Wait. Trap. So that is the range of 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one over here. Or just shoot like that. We gotta go over here. Oops, wrong one. Shield yourself. Shield yourself. Wait. 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 Boom. Ow. Well, at least they're all lining up. Give it a shot. Beautiful. And we're coming up and attack him. And he's stunned. Interesting. That's a miss. That's a killing. Oh my goodness. That was a beautiful killing shot. Kablow. Moving up. Giving that ghoul an attack. Sadly missing. Sadly missing again. Full on sprint. Full on sprint. Heal him. This will end my turn if I use an item. Normal attack. Another slap. Another shot. It's not looking good with morale. Not gonna lie. There we go. Another one that binds the dust. Dude, I am in love with this game. Iron Oath, I can eagerly wait. And I'm eagerly waiting for this to release on 1.0 and finally play it when it's fully out. As you can see, roguelike elements as you move into dungeon, group management, making decisions, leveling up, taking care of your gear, getting fame, become more famous, getting better contracts, having warfare going on in the battle map between faction and houses, diplomacy going in, intrigues maybe later on with the council that's gonna be added, and sky's the limit. The game is still in production. It's in early access. Go check it out. Link will be in the description down below, and also for the dear viewers over here in the chat right now. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I hope you enjoyed also my voice acting. And that was Iron Oath. That was Iron Oath. What a great game. What a great game.